Hey, creepy crawlers! Welcome back to another Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup Forgewright video with forgefluffs the Fabricator. We're a mountain dwarf, Sif Muna. We're down to Dungeon 7, where, yes, we just fought some pretty nasty stuff. We've started encountering the real monsters. Are we the real monsters after all? But I think we've got a good set of tools. I wouldn't mind... I don't know what I want exactly. I think we're pretty well off for now. I wouldn't mind... Oh, excuse me. I wouldn't mind some gloves and boots. Use some gloves and boots. An extra 2 to 6 armor class would be pretty welcome. Let's sort of back off from that situation. Let's go back to our original staircase. Grab this curare dart. We don't have any throwing skills, so it's more of a pull mechanism than anything, but sometimes we'll get lucky, and null packs are also a little less dangerous because we also have a pole arm, so we're not totally defenseless. Grapple guides your strike. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like our setup is pretty strong. We've got, you know, we're not doing the craziest amount of damage, but we're doing enough that we can get this sort of like beginning of the mid-game. Can't attack that way. Beginning of the mid-game stuff down. Kobold throwing rocks with the Sword of Holy Wrath. Not exactly what I'm terrified of. Ooh, some cold stuff. See, another place where that robe that had the negative cold resistance could have just really been a liability to us while we're trying to dodge this stuff. So, I just highly advise against taking cold or even fire vulnerability. Ooh, Great Wizards Volume 2. We've got Bjorgnor's Vile Clutch. Bjorgnor's Vile Clutch used to be very overpowered. I think now it's just regular overpowered. Necromancy Earth, huh? I really like this spell with what we're doing. So this, I believe in its current incarnation, is a beam, so it pierces through everything and grabs them, held in place and constricted, and continues to damage them. It's just crazy good. And when we're doing positioning things and we have turrets, I think we kind of immediately get that online. So we want to memorize Bjorgnor's Vile Clutch. Yes. This will also coincidentally let us memorize Passwall, which I don't hate. It's just another little escape tool. It's a little weaker than some of our others. Like, I think Swiftness is strictly better for getting out of there. But Passwall is sometimes what the situation calls for. Sometimes you just get boxed in, and there's not much you can do about it. So, yeah. So we're going to want to train Necromancy and Earth. Nice that we're proficient with both of those. And I think we can continue to train shields. What's our polearm down to? 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 0. I think we... Oh. The other thing to note is that our spike launcher will not be as good for us in the layer. There are just fewer walls to take advantage of. We'll still try to position around them. I don't think this is worth it without apportation. I think that Clouds of Flame are just... We don't have any points in fighting. I don't think we can take Clouds of Flame without some kind of resistance, which we don't have. So, cool. Onward! We are playing on version 33, 0.33, if anyone's curious. See, we're living in a helmet-rich land, but not a gloves and boots-rich land. It's like there are Tengu everywhere. Even Tengu have claws. Alright, so that's a big orc pit. What stealth do we have? 2 pips? Alright, I think our ringmail is helping us out with that a little bit. I wouldn't mind a couple more points in it, but I just think that with wearing such heavier armor later on, and we've got a lot of things we're splitting our skills between already, this is one time that'll kind of forego the stealth training early. We'll still probably put a couple of points into it in the layer just because it kind of pays off disproportionately. Another Ring of Intelligence, A. I don't know that we can afford to put that on right now. And the only thing that we're trying to get online is Bjorknor's, which won't happen until we get some skill training anyway. So I don't see any reason why we should. Let's go ahead and Spire. I really don't like. Yeah, just kite backwards using our Amulet of the Acrobat. Bees. Okay, we got some bees. Let's get into a better position and go ahead and shout. Shout. Let it all out. Yeah, I think if we just hang out here. Resummon our Spire as needed, resummon our Spike Trap as needed. It's not the best position for that Spike Trap. That's okay, though. I'm doing this all wrong. Let's read a Scroll of Fear, since I was doing this all wrong. And duck out. Let's go around this way. And we survive. I should not have had to have burned a scroll there. I engaged that fight in the wrong. I did everything wrong. I should not have walked into that room. I should have kept kiting back. And that was just a little misplay. I just, my focus slipped for a moment. Because I was thirsty. Alright. Common problem with me. No, it's the dry season here, so we're just kind of parched all the time. I don't think we're doing anything with shapeshifting this round. For this this character, we're pretty heavily reliant on our armor scaling skill since we're such a close range caster. We are very close range. Bjorknor's will super help with that though. That's kind of why I might even drop training polearms. Yeah, I'm gonna drop polearms. I just think Bjorknor's is so strong. I am going to keep shields going. I do think that shields is worthwhile, even while we're trying to get something else online. We're close enough to 1.0 on our polearms that we're not at tremendous risk of losing a turn. 1.2 is pretty safe. It's not safe, but it's safe-ish. Safe when it's not, like, when only every other turn, really, are you doing it. Because we're grappling first, always. We just don't have the... We don't have the combat stats to, yeah, see, Necro and Earth at level 2, Bjorknar's is already down 20%. Pick up a couple more darts for pulling purposes. Ooh, a Wand of Quicksilver. I like that a lot. That might be useful in Orc. If we get an Orc. Ooh, do we have See Invis? We do, from our ring mail. Oh, that's really nice. Shadow Ghasts can be kind of a pain. They can, yeah. Natural Invis. Which it did. Be a lot harder to deal with. Okay, alright, fine. We'll make a Spire. And we're level 10. A few more hit points, that's nice. Another spell level, that's nice. How many spell levels do we have? 3? Yeah, if we get Spider, we might pump up Alchemy a bit and get Noxious Bog. Noxious Bog kind of single-handedly demolishes Spider, and I sometimes view it as worthwhile solely for that. Plus we've got Sith Muna, so that's a really good position for that Spire. That's really strong. That's great. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, this is why we picked up those darts, so that we can do something like that. And then we can do that and that. And then we just grapple until a grapple lands. Step out of the cloud of steam, I guess. Yeah. God, this is a fun... I really like Forgewright. It's such a fun background. Having access to the spike launcher early on, really... I mean, it's really good for teaching you positioning, if you haven't already learned it. It's a little weird, because it doesn't teach you necessarily good positioning. Like, some of the tactics that it forces you into in order to stay close to your launcher are a little sus. You don't normally want to be next to anything as a caster, like, ever. But we've got a really interesting build going here, because we've got the Amulet of the Acrobat, so we can kind of do a kite and reset a little bit better than we would be able to otherwise, which is really nice. I'm not hating it. My only regret is that the Lightning Spire is pretty loud. So there are going to be some circumstances where we're going to pick up a Scimitar of Flaming just for some Hydra support. I'm not saying it's good Hydra support, but it's a tool, and, like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna drop the stupid, where is it? Rhymehorn Talisman, like, why am I carrying around a Rhymehorn Talisman? It's definitely not going to be useful to us this run. Min 8 shapeshifting, yeah, not happening. I do think it's a good thing to pick up early tools early on. I think it's a good habit to get into, to not have to backtrack a whole bunch. But within reason. Wyvern, you're not positioning where I want you to. Okay. Wyverns can do some damage, as you saw. We do still only have... We're on Dungeon 9 with 10 AC. I'd kind of been hoping that we'd find some boots and gloves. We at least found a shield. That's really good. Finding a shield is very strong. We're going to loop around here and hope that, yes, good, the spire went in front of us this time. Good, all right. Yeah, do not take Komodo dragons for granted. They have the word dragon in their name. Okay, so I want to... I don't necessarily want to read one of those 2 stacks or 3 stacks with this much of the level unexplored. But I kind of want 1 or 2 more tools. Let's read a 3 stack. Enchant armor. Okay, we'll put that into our ring mail. That I think is quite good. Normally you want to put it into your like helmet and cloak or whatever, right? Because the accessories are harder to find than armors. But because we can enchant artifacts, we can kind of hold out. You know, we're eventually going to want something stronger than ring mail, but not until the, like, really not until the late game, probably. I'm assuming. Cloak. No, we've got a cloak. Dang it. We're already loud. Bring them all. It's fine. We'll just have a party. Okay. I feel like a basilisk is not very threatening to our characters specifically. The centaur warrior, on the other hand, might be. That's not too bad, though. That was a nice chunk of experience as well. Bjorgnor's 41%. We're getting there. How are we doing on our training of things? Spellcasting, I kind of feel like we just have to sort of leave on. I think that even as a, quote, hybrid, unquote, we're turning our mana into damage more than we're turning our hit points into damage. Which ultimately, by the way, is like the difference between melee and a +6 short bow just sitting on the ground is kind of hilarious. Ay. Spike launcher is not going to be able to position properly, so we're just going to... Oh, that wasn't the hotkey I meant to hit. Oh, man, Tengu Warrior. Wand of Quicksilver? Oh, we're at 1 hit point, and we have... Oh, goodness. We should have been doing other things before now. Okay. We got the fear. Slips behind the defender beforehand. Okay. So it can maybe chase us down. We're nowhere near a staircase. We do have a potion of invisibility, though. I think we... Can it see invisible? No. Okay. I think we quaff potion of invisibility and run away. And really hope that it didn't just run right through there. Okay, yeah. Ooh, that was not a good fight. That was not a good fight. Do not play that fight like I played that fight. Do not do it. But also, like, Tengu on Dungeon 9 is... Look, I was not taking it as seriously as I should have because I just didn't expect it to be there. and I got caught a little off guard. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll adapt. We'll adjust. We lost our invis potion and our last scroll of fear, which don't love. Those are both strong tools. But also we were at 1 hit point, so I feel like we were justified in using them to stay alive. Okay. So we maybe need Bjorgnors online before we tackle that guy. That's fine. We will just remember that that level is super dangerous, and we will proceed with an abundance of caution on this level so as to not need to stair dance and risk running into that guy. Because that was really not a good fight. Should have started using our tools much sooner. Actually, here we need to be using... Oh, I see. Well, isn't this a pickle? All right, well, speaking of using our tools, let's read one of these scrolls. Yes, Scroll of Teleportation. That's kind of what I figured it would be. I think teleportation is our best bet here. For getting out... Can't get back up the stairs, you see. I don't know why I stepped... Oh, I stepped off the staircase to let the lightning spire function. But I didn't actually have to do that. So, still learning some Forgewright tricks, I guess. Here, what do I want to do with this turn? Probably just attack the... Yeah, so that we have one fewer thing hitting us. And then, same with this demon. Then, same with that demon. Okay, good. Got a safe teleport. That's always nice. See, there's Oka. If we had held out... I mean, I'm sure that maybe he was in the temple too, but... Or it. The deities are really... They're very specifically never gendered. Speaking of deities, we're still at 2 pips of piety, so what are we at? We're at... Yeah. Not really... Sif's more of a late game helper. I assumed that we would be strong enough to get through the mid-game, and I was mostly right. I might put... Yeah, we really need Bjorgnors online, and we really want to be able to pick up a... Ooh, Erica. Erica used to be a human, but now she's an octopus, and I feel like she's much happier this way. That was great. Some free experience. Let's drop our worst Scimitar of Flaming and get a better Scimitar of Flaming. For those pesky Hydras, maybe. Alright. Back to dealing with a Mammon, but in a position where I feel like we're not just gonna die. Feel like we have the positional advantage now. Here we're going to have a 2-stack either way, so oof. Yeah, that demon whip, that's no joke. That's a lot of damage in 1 round. It's okay though, because I think we win this fight still. Maybe we Maybe we see if we curare. No, we didn't manage to curare. Okay, that would have been cool. Ooh, but we might get a free hit with our trident. Yes, we did. That's nice. So our little summons can create some confusion, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. It also makes me wonder, yikes. Man, he hurts. We have to, like, blind quaff a potion or two if we're going to survive, and I don't think we will. Oh, okay, good. We got curing. All right. Well, that's good, but still not great. Shoot. I really thought we had this fight, but... All right, okay. All right, we survived, but yikes. Way, way closer than I wanted it to be. And, I think ultimately I need to stop being stubborn, and I need to go ahead and burn these other enchant armor scrolls. I think on this ring mail. I think the ring mail is good enough. But ow, yikes. Well, we don't have any points in armor or dodging, so I guess that's kind of on me. Let's actually switch over from shields and just put a couple into armor. I think we've got enough that... All right, scroll of identify. Let's get ambrosia. Okay, good. We've got another healing potion now. Enchant weapon scrolls. I'm still saving. I think that's still the correct choice. Kiss of Death, Confusing Touch, Dispel Undead. Dispel Undead could be interesting. Oh, it is a Book of Touch. Right, yes. Only next to you. That's a ton of damage, though. That might be nice. We've trained some necromancy for Bjorknors, so we'll keep that in mind as a later tool. Okay. Oh, mama. That's where I wanted that spire, though. That's good. All right. Do your work, spire. Yeah, it's a really good position for that spire. Not having to reposition that is great. And we found orc. That's nice. Not sure if we do orc before layer. That feels risky. Ooh, a kite shield of protection. Well, now we're talking. All right, 22%. 45%. Yeah. All right, that's okay though. How are our other spells? Also worse. All right. Sorry, armor. Your time was shining briefly, but we did kite shield of protection is pretty. That's a pretty big jump in our survivability. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that pickup. That's really good going into the mid game here. Fanner, huh? We're just gonna be thankful our little bit of stealth gave us an exclusion for that and run away. Just kind of wanting to finish exploring this level before we end this video for the day. Yeah, it's going to take us a little while longer to get Bjorknors online, but I think the added protection is so worth it. All right, we have gotten through Dungeon 10. Still no layer, interestingly, so it's definitely on the next level. We found Orc, which we could duck into if level 11 is too tough. But I think we've got a good start. We did have to use a couple of more of our strong escape options, which I don't love, but we're still doing okay. We've got a pretty decent set of options for our spells if we need more gas somewhere. We've got a few spell levels to burn. We've got some great spells in our spell book. Bjorgnor's is really going to make our lives easier. And I may even reconsider switching to this kite shield if getting it online. If it means getting it online. And in fact, let's go ahead and switch back to a buckler. We'll keep training shields though. We'll keep training shields. We'll maybe set spellcasting to level 8 for now. Anyway, something like that. And that's how we'll leave it. We'll sign off here. Please remember to like and subscribe so that I can have more moth friends. 'Cause I like friends. And join us next time for some more creepy crawling dungeon crawl stone soup.